Man, Jacques has asked if that's a Logitech C920 webcam. Could you really tell what webcam I have by the shadow it's casting on my face? Are you for real right now? That's crazy. And that is the webcam I have. But before we get into the introductions, thank you and a shout out to Sisnaka, resubbing for 9 months in a row. Welcome back, baby. But spawning here in the top left corner of the map to kick off the finals of the Lycan League, it's going to be the purple Terran QXC.
In the bottom left, as the blue Zerg, it's Acer's Bly. Ew.
And he's going for that. Yeah, the earlier pull and the faster gas, I guess, going to get some speedlings out. Another shout out goes out to Bractimus for his 2nd month resub. Welcome back. Enjoy all your partoofs. If you guys haven't hit refresh at this point, remember, we got a new emote you can start spamming in chat for partoofs. It looks so good, especially when spammed en masse. But okay, so Bly gonna definitely get aggressive. We predicted this. It's the same as what I guess we're kind of trying to equate to a 6 pool with air quotes, as it does use some of your earlier drone count and sacrifices the hatchery. That being said, I don't know that this, like, QXC's already got the wall off, right? Is this gonna be that big of a problem?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I can't, like, speedling attacks, they're not about breaking down that wall, right? Unless it gets a Baneling Nest too, that's one-base Baneling, and that would be really, that'd be really interesting to see. It's about getting them to cancel a command center on the low ground, unless they send an SCV to scout it, in which case, yes, it does actually drastically reduce the effectiveness of it. But as QXC has not, no, he did. Oh, he did send an SCV. Oh, it's really important, actually. Yeah, he doesn't make it on low ground anymore. This actually gets tons easier to deal with. I mean, you're still kind of scared because it's speed and how you're gonna get outside of your base to scout again if they're like 2-base bailing all inning. But it's already gotten actually a lot better thanks to QXC's Lucky Scout.
Well, we got a lot of subs to catch up on, guys. We'll give you some shoutouts in a second, but right now we got the Reaper dance around with those links. This should be totally manageable. I mean, this for Bly was not such a dedication that screws him over, but he is staying on the 1 base, and the follow-up is the dedication that might screw him over. The Roach Warren coming down, still no hatchery.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if it was hard to swarm, I'd say like 1 base Ling attack. Yeah, it's actually kind of screwed if you can't do something. But the Roach follow-up, that has to be denied scouting as well. I mean, that's part of why you get speed here. Because otherwise, these Lings die on the way back home. Yeah. You don't deny the Reaper Scout, and they don't get they know to get a turret or a tank instead of more Hellions. Now the Reaper actually, oh, is not gonna go scout.
Well, I was gonna say, even if he doesn't scout, just being out here sometimes is enough to know to raise the bunker or the depots. He's got 2 bunkers coming down. So QXC, I mean, does he? He has no idea that this in particular is coming, but he knows something is on the way.
Yeah. So he's gonna, I mean, I think right now he might think it's a Baneling bust, but with the amount of Roach attacks, Roach Ravager attacks, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if he starts Roaches. I mean, it's Legacy the...
Ravagers are gonna wreck these bunkers if done correctly. That's a true fact right there. And if he can, oh, he's gonna see this coming though. I was gonna say if he can get past that wall, maybe the Ling's running, maybe there's some burrow that comes up behind it, maybe you know, he just floods. But the point is, he's got to get through this wall first, right? No matter what his strategy is.
It's tricky though, like, because the Ravagers, the Roaches have to soak up so much on that front line, so the Ravagers don't die while they're shooting the Corrosive Bile. The Overlord is giving high ground vision, it looks like. Okay, it is actually. That's probably the biggest problem. Like, a Viking.
Serious? This range on the Ravager right now.
Right? Like, that's the worst thing about this attack, is that with this Overlord here, the Ravagers aren't having the same, like, problem being kind of easy to kill.
Nope, never mind, just kidding. Even then, he still breaks the wall. And Bly with that 1 base play. Here comes the tank, but I don't think the tank's going to be enough.
If you got a Medevac out, if you had a Viking, well, not a Viking anymore, but you got a Medevac out or a Banshee out,
run to the second bunker.
It's going to be way different.
I mean, here's the weakness of the Ravagers right now. First off, they attack way too fast, in my opinion. Their damage is whatever, but it's the fact they only have 120 health. If you've got Marauders in play, if you got a Banshee out, I mean, these are honestly not so impossible to manage. And QXC's up in a lot of workers. Okay, he lost a lot, but there's no follow-up coming from Bly. There's not 12 more Roaches streaming across the map. I think this Banshee might just keep him in this game. If he doesn't lose too many SCVs to something stupid, I think QXC's got a good shot to still play this out.
Yeah, well, here's all the fodder is gone for the the Ravagers. You know, being able to shoot with the high ground vision is awesome, but it doesn't hold out the majority of the attack, right? You eventually have to get into their base and be under fire with Ravagers.
Oh god. Ravagers are destroying the workers because their attack speed is silly. Here comes that Banshee finally, though. That felt like it took forever to spawn.
You would think that would never hit the Banshee. Mismicroed into the shot.
Hey, either way, QXC's still sitting on 24 workers. He's got a natural base he can float on over. I think he's doing just dandy.
Yeah, yeah.
Tank coming out is going to be a pretty big deal, too. Stop Link, stop more roaches. And, I mean, okay, it kind of like you didn't have it for the Ravagers that first round, but this time you will if there's more, but there's not.
I mean, he's got to know. This Banshee's going to do some really great scouting. See that the roach number is not scary high. There's only 2 bases. It wasn't like he misunderstood the economy so badly that Bly was able to afford, like, double hatcheries. No, it's not going to happen.
Well, getting caught up on those sub shoutouts really quick, guys. Look, No Hands 119, 3-month resub. But Procheeto for 13 months also comes back to the channel. And some new blood with TSA Maunk. Thank you guys for subbing to the channel. Thank you for resubbing and all this glorious support. As well as XX Luwei XX, brand new sub to the channel. Thank you so much, man.
QXC feeling pretty confident with his Banshee harass, both in defense as well as getting another Banshee and scouting here.
You see this without cloak, though, so I mean, it is kind of ballsy.
Yeah, but he's gonna go ahead and get a 3rd command center. I don't feel so bad about that. Oh, that main base, how mined out is it? Oh my god.
Actually, he's been dropping mules here for 2 orbitals this whole time. I mean, it did give him a lot of money, I guess. It does put him in a very awkward spot economically. Some SUV's gonna bleed out here as well.
Yeah. I mean, our alternative, Bly really isn't mined out all that much. I mean, some of the roll patches are low, but none of them are disappearing yet.
It's strange, though, to have it look like that, but still have the resources lost still somewhat even. I guess, again, there's so many weird dynamics of what these new incomes are gonna really affect the game with.
Yeah. Chris, Lairlick Crest, I'm surprised more people aren't complaining about this, but you can't wall off the rocks that aren't broken down at first, that are another avenue, so what's the point of walling off the front? So the bunker is kind of easily surrounded, easily targetable. Nothing to, put tanks behind necessarily. That's you have to break through first. So it can be a little scary, but they both know that there a lot went on in the early game, that a big, 100 army push out isn't going to happen anytime soon.
Well, Bly taking a 3rd, it's not something I really expect him to exactly leapfrog to, but he's going to get there. Ravagers, some shots of the Banshee.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, almost got it. I thought that was actually a sick prediction.
Me too.
But more Cyclones coming out of QXC. I'm not sure if he's going to go... I mean, I guess at this point it is dedicated to Mech. 3 factories down, no engineering bay, and I would love to see him break Bly with this, because Bly's just been like this crazy aggressive guy. When he came up that ramp, so many folks were probably writing QXC off. Even I was kind of in the back of my mind, but he held strong to the Banshee came out. If that, by the way, if that Banshee had not begun before the supply block happened, QXC's dead in the water. There's no question about it.
I mean, that said, I'm surprised how much damage it did do. Because a wall up like that, and Out of the Storm against a Speedling opener, and you're like, okay, what are you gonna do? But Ravagers, man. Ravagers.
Well, he's actually dodging these shots pretty well. I mean, you can catch slow units pretty easily, but dodging around like this bench is kind of nice. I am wondering, though, if QXC could retain these for long enough, would he be willing to invest in the Fusion Core upgrade later on? I mean, he's playing Mech.
I would hope so. He did get that 3rd base down securely, and once he breaks the rocks, it will be very secure, and then he can start the wall off, having pretty much a fortified position as a Mech player. The 4th base does get a little bit trickier. Not really too many maps that are super easy 4ths anymore. There's no Accolon, but this one is kind of odd because you're basically, unless you push forward to Bly, which would be really, really risky, you just walled off your path to the other 4th base to the right. So it'll be a little tricky as the game goes on.
So here is one of the problems a lot of Zerg are complaining about when it comes to compositions is Cyclones are really shut down by Lings primarily, more than anything else. And that's what the Hellions are here to guard against. So without a direct counter initially and no mutas on the way, this could be really difficult for Bly to hold. Hatchery gonna go down pretty damn quick. Cyclone Fire is nothing to joke around about.
Yeah, I really wish he had gone on the mutas after that. Oh, wow, big counterattack.
Yeah, QC's gonna have to run back home, and the Cyclones, while fast, not fast enough. He's definitely gonna take some damage from this, but the question is how much and how long. how far does this go? Trying to build a tech lab over here is ambitious.
Yeah. It might not be that bad. There were not that many SCVs to begin with here.
Yeah,
So
actually,
not many go down.
that's kind of funny, right? Like the amount of damage Bly did earlier ends up hurting this attack.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, he gets blue flame. That kind of helps out, but there was very low risk to losing production because you can just lift, and honestly, there's not that many roaches. That this really, I'm not sure was worth it, but the front is now being broken. This might be worth it. A lot of SCVs are down here. These are Ravagers as well. Might get shots up on the Banshees. The Banshees!
Oh, he loses one. I mean, the Cyclones, as we see, are just wrecking this, though. Ravagers have no health, but it's taken him so long to clean this up. He has lost a lot of workers while this goes on. He did lose a lot in the main because there wasn't any here, as you pointed out, but Siege Tank comes out, going to try and keep these road roaches in check.
This got so messy. Still, I mean, you look at the numbers, and despite how messy it was messy for both players. So even workers, QXC still up in that army supply, has better upgrades. Bly has just not invested anything in upgrades.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, Bly, like, you do an attack like this, and it usually buys you time to transition into something else, right? Like, you're buying time for the Mutas to come out, you're buying time for the Ultras to finish up, but he's just buying time for more roaches. I don't know that that's going to cut it versus this army.
A lot of scans have gone down. That does suck because the workers are even. Usually you'd be actually really far ahead with 3, even 4 mules at a time, with a 4th orbital command on the way. Not sure if he's just going to hope that Bly won't attack that command center and he will lift it off to the right, or what, but not having a planetary, that's going to be a pretty prime target for Bly.
Cyclone's getting that lock on, bro. Quick cancel. No turrets down just yet, but scans again. Burning lots of money for this, and maybe that's what Bly's hope. Because, you know, the roaches burrowed are causing enough damage that I can justify it through all these scans through the actual damage done, but cheeky moves of the turret right there.
He tried to like get the tanks to splash each other, I think, by being under them, but it was just on all of their dead range, so...
Yeah, he like went to the heart of the tanks, too.
Oh my god! Lurkers!
As cool as I think this is...
It's not gonna work.
Yeah. Now, the range of the Lurker can actually match that when upgraded off Hive Tech of the Cyclone when upgraded as well, but... I don't know, the Lurker attack is kind of weird, it's kind of dodgy, and there's all these cool videos out there of, like, dodging the spikes. But when you got a mech army, you're not looking to dodge the spikes, you're looking to just steamroll through.
Can you imagine if any of those roach counterattack, like the ones that got into the main and the natural had lurkers in them, and like they were up on a ramp?
Oh god.
Ah.
I know, good defense is what would be had, is the point. But Lurker Den's going to be quite some time to finish it up. Not to mention Lurkers themselves are fairly expensive. Not only do you have to afford the Hydra in the first place, but the Lurker is quite expensive. And losing drones like this, oh god.
Oh, and a scan. Oh, no.
He was barely going to be able to afford the Lurkers before, but I don't know if he can. He just lost how many drones? Oh my god. Went from like 40-something to 22.
Well, okay, here's... That is a humongous problem.
He saw the Lurker Den too on the death. Now the Roaches guys doesn't have it. Quick burrow out of Bly. Constantly making sure these Cyclones get locked out to lock on.
So many scans.
I wish
still misses through.
We need a scan counter is what we need, like in the bottom corner or something. But I want to give a big shout out to Physic CT, sub to the channel. Welcome, welcome.
Man, if Bly hadn't lost those drones, it'd actually be like quite a good game if he was somehow to miraculously get like 12 lurkers and had a solid defense. It would be one of the best games that we cast, but losing all those drones, he has a ton of gas that he really can't use.
Yeah.
And no supply compared to QXC. Now, QXC is running out of minerals on the main and the natural. The third, not so much because it's actually not been mining because of all these counterattacks.
Yeah. You know, actually, as funny as it is, it might not be bad for Bly to possibly invest into infestors. Just because fungal growth holding those Cyclones in place negates their speed. Infestarians can use the splash on the tanks, as we've seen folks like Hyun do. I mean... I don't think it's the solution, but I'm just saying, you're floating 1,500 gas, and the roaches aren't doing it. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I agree with that, but I was thinking we haven't seen anyone use the buff that infestors give their other units. We've seen people try it.
Didn't they remove that? Put Nero back? I'm fairly certain.
Oh, that might have been what it was then. I was about to say because we've seen everything else, even if it's bad. All right, that makes sense. Then.
It was a cool buff, but I think it was a little too good, you know.
Oh, I don't know about being too good. It just didn't feel right in StarCraft 2. Like, no other units give, like, attack buff. Well, whatever. So it goes along with the cloak, I guess. Instant
Man,
cloak.
every time we hear a scan, I don't even need to look for it anymore because I just know it's at home. I keep looking to see like what he's scanning in Bly's base, and I'm like, you know what? 14 scans later, I've given up on this because they're all just at home to stop the roaches. But finally, turrets start coming down all over the place. Less scans are going to be necessary. These roaches have been quite the nuisance. I mean, I'll give it up for Bly. Some of these later game roach attacks, they've been really good at buying time, distracting QXE. But it kind of goes back to my original point. To what end? What are you buying time for? You're on 29 army supply? Do you really have the money in the larva to make that up over the next 30 seconds? When QXE finally decides to say, screw it, I'm a push?
I kind of wish that he would. This game's kind of going on for a tad longer than it should have. Should be. I don't know what the air attack was for. Maybe saving up to actually go into mutas.
I think he wanted to, but I mean, he could still make the 14 mutas. And we look at what QXE has. His anti-air is the Cyclones, right? There's not a lot of Vikings. There's no Thors. The Cyclones are good versus mutas when there's this many, though. So I don't know if the muta transition is going to work. Yeah,
and there's enough turrets that have been built because of these roaches that
exactly.
It's not going to be like instant death because you don't have any anti-air.
It's like it's like opening Roach Burrow, going to Swarm House and going like, how did he have detection from my Swarm House?
Yeah, or like, open oracles in the DTs.
Exactly.
Well, I thought maybe he was going to wait for QXE to push out, because then his army really would be lacking quite a bit on anti-air. Only the Cyclones who could be picked apart easily by about 20 mutas. But it makes him now, stops waiting. But honestly, the defensive setup is pretty good. QXE still has supply to produce Thors, too.
21 mutas is a lot of mutas. 24, pardon me. And he scans to see them come, too. Oh, that couldn't have been a better scan. But this is it for Bly, right? Not only just through supply count alone, but the all-in of the money, the gas, the minerals. It's everything for him to try and use these mutas to win the game. And he's going to have to go with the utmost control. Now, it's worth noting, mutas do move faster than Cyclones, but only just barely, so running outside the range of lock-on is not really that viable. He's just going to go for the fight, and that's going to cost him so many mutas.
Dear God.
Oh, God.
I don't know what he was expecting.
I don't know either, but it's a rough game. It's been rough for a while.
Oh, God. 12 mutas out of the 23 that he got initially. We have not done enough damage.
I'm having a small brain fart because I'm not sure if I broke things. Is this game 1 or 2? 1. Okay. I was looking at the overlay and I'm like, 0-0, shoot. Is that really the case?
Yes, it is.
But one of the... I actually kind of like that this is just game 1, though, to be honest with you, because I'm seeing a lot of potential for the other matchups. I mean, QXE, to take this to 20 minutes, and like 20 real minutes almost, too. Okay, it's a slow, long, drawn-out death, but he's making sure he's going to win this game. I feel like after you get all in on one base, in Legacy of the Void, you have to make sure you win.
Yeah. I don't know. When he was at 150, he could have pushed and won. He's actually had trouble getting up to 200. Giving away Cyclones, I guess.
There was a time in this game where Bly had about 24 supply or something. It was just before he made the mutas because he was banking up all that money, all that gas.
I swear, if QXE pulls a Lycan, remember that game, Lycan versus Zugling? Wasn't that the one that I made pancakes for? Where it's just like Lycan literally won with like Blue Flame Hellions, and he didn't do anything.
Well, it took like 50 million years. But yeah, that's the one with the pancakes.
It went for like a 4-hour game after he won after the first 20 minutes because he literally didn't do anything after that fact.
Actually, it was only 2 hours. Okay. I'm just saying because there was a 4-hour game and you're spreading false information.
It was actually, like 1.5 hours because that was like Blizzard time and not real time.
Okay, Zombie Ground. Okay.
Okay, anyways.
Go ahead and just calm yourself, okay?
But seriously, like if QXE... He was so passive for so long that Bly got a mineral bank of 2,000, like, and a gas bank of like 3,000, okay? If all of that had gone to drones as the game has gone on, I swear, Bly actually would be in a decent position. He probably like 180 supply.
I don't know though, because here's the thing, as bad as QXE's defenses have been, or Bly's attacks have been, pardon me, QXE's defense has always kept him doing precisely that, playing defensive, instead of getting aggressive and pushing.
I swear that there was like a 5-minute time where the Roach they were dealt with, like the Cyclones were prepared against them. The mutas weren't out yet.
I think
like there was actually nothing happening.
I think you're over-exaggerating just a little bit. But I agree, it did take a long time. There's a lot of opportunity for him to push, but Same time, like I said, you play a mech, you don't want to risk throwing your whole army. Does make sure to play it safe, and he does take the game. So GG, game number 1, gonna go to QXE. Of course, you get the 2 Imba races going at it right now, right? Like, pow, pow, pow.
Okay.